You're listening to Good Morning Gwinnett, a division of ABK Media Group, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, sharing stories about people and places around beautiful Gwinnett County every day at 9 a.m. Southern living at its best.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Gwinnett. I'm your host, Audrey Bell Kearney, so happy to be here with you this morning. Happy hump day, everybody. It's Wednesday. You made it to Wednesday. Thank God. He woke us up this morning and set us on our way, and we are highly blessed and favored. Got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking to Mr. Chris Cook. He's our financial advisor. We're doing this 12-part series about creating your financial destiny and how to make money work for you. Today we're going to talk about understanding how money works, because that's very important. I think a lot of people, when they think about money, they think about savings. They bank, they hopefully it'll grow. That's not necessarily the case. And so we're going to talk about how to understand money, so you know how money works, so you'll know what you need to be doing to make the most of your money and to make it grow. But before we do that, I'm going to jump on over to the horoscopes. You know, this is something new that I'm doing. I'm loving every second of it. Again, I think I told a story about how when I was younger and I used to work, and I would my most important part of my day was listening to the horoscopes, which came on early in the morning. So I decided to incorporate this into my show because I actually like it. You know, some people don't like the horoscopes. I do. It's my show. Anyway, let's get started with the horoscopes. So Aries, you'll be dropping friends for no apparent reason. Take some time to change your house around. Take care of any pressing medical problems that you or one of your parents may be suffering from. Taurus, listen but don't make any rash decisions. Don't let friends or relatives rule your life. You can make gains if you work in conjunction with others. Work with other people, Taurus. Gemini, you may feel a need to make changes in your legal documents. You can invest in profitable ventures. There will be hidden matters that you may find disturbing. Be careful, Gemini. You don't want to jump out into the water and not know what you're doing. Cancer, this is a turning point. Property purchases should be on your mind. Your personal life will be under the gun, and you may want to avoid the questions your lover is going to want to ask you. Ooh, somebody may be getting a marriage proposal. Not sure. They're saying. Leo, keep an open mind when listening to the opinions of others. Overindulgence can lead to problems with digestion, so don't overeat today. Use discretion in your dealings and refrain from making verbal promises of any kind. Very careful about what you promise. Virgo, do something constructive outside today. Try to be tolerant of the moods of those around you. Your emotions may be hard to control if your mate is forcing you to undergo drastic alterations in your relationship. Now, listen, if he's trying to make you do something you don't want to do, you might want to think about that. So, listen, we're going to go to a song. I'm going to come back. We're going to finish up the second part, and then we'll give you a little bit of news, and we're going to jump right on with Chris because he got some good stuff to share with us this morning. Be right back.
I was worried you broke my reputation, but I figured it's not on me. Yeah. The way you're making me shiver, your hands on myself, I keep pulling the trigger, alright. Just everything there for people like them. Oh, no. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky, oh. It's the way you make me feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good, oh. care much for people like them. We don't care much for people like them. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, burning high up in the sky. Oh, it's the way you make me feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good. Oh.
Welcome back to Good Morning Gwinnett. I'm your host, Audrey Bell Kearney. Make me feel so good. Listen, I love music, so I'm happy to be able to incorporate that into the show. Going to finish up the horoscopes. We're on Libra. Libra, you must not make unnecessary changes today. You may have difficulties with foreigners. You will be full of energy, and you need to find something constructive to do. My brother's a Libra. He's always full of energy. He's always full of energy. Scorpio, unexpected bills will be impossible for you to pay. A second chance will result in good work. Don't take offense at comments made by coworkers. Don't let them get to you, Scorpio. Sagittarius, you mustn't take on other people's responsibility, or you may find yourself irritable and exhausted. You may experience financial loss if you don't use good judgment. You will do well in social settings, and new and interesting individuals may spark a romantic curiosity. Love may be in the air for you, Sag. Capricorn, your pilgrimage may end up being fruitless. Jealousy may get in the way of a good relationship. You should be trying to clear up legal contracts that have been pending. Don't be jealous, Capricorn. Get rid of that stuff. Aquarius, confusion is apparent, and you'll need some sound advice if you want to do the right thing. You will find that uncertain individuals will want to draw you into a joint venture. Be careful. Physical work or exercise should be part of your schedule today. All right, Aquarius, you need to get out and do a little exercise. And fellow fish people, that's me, I'm a Pisces. Your disciplined attention to jobs will enhance your position. Don't be too eager to buy things for those who really don't deserve it. You can complete any project efficiently, especially if you put in the effort yourself. So we got to do the work, Pisces. We got to do the work. It's what we do. Right on to our people helping people. Today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be giving a shout out to creating our futures. Every morning I try to give a shout out to a nonprofit that's doing some great things in our community. And today our shout out goes out to creating our future. This is an organization that focuses on helping teenagers transition into adulthood. They prepare them for things like college and career choices. They also have programs for veterans who return at home, and they need to transition and get back into the workforce. And they help not only the children transition back into the workforce, but they also help the parents of veterans coming home. Because a lot of times when vets come home, it's like this whole thing about, okay, what do I do next? I've been in the military for so long. What's my next step? And some people may not have prepared for the next step. So not only do they help their children transition, they also help you as a veteran transition. They do things like help you fill out. They help children fill out college applications. They help with mentoring and tutoring. They do workshops. They do career counseling. They help get GEDs. So if you don't have your GED and you need help doing that, they do group mentoring, college readiness, youth development, education development. They just do a lot of good things to help our youth become productive citizens in their community. And I think that's so cool because the youth is our future. They are our future, and the more we can help them become better people, the better we're going to be in the long run. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't think that, so they don't put in their time, but I do. I believe that we need to help these guys do whatever it is they need to do so they can have a great and bright future and also be productive community leaders. If you want more information about creating our future, you can go to creatingourfutureyouth.org, creatingourfutureyouth.org. You can also reach them at 470-259-4447. Again, that's 470-259-4447. 4447. And the address to them is 2386 Clower Street, and that's in Snellville. Listen, as always, they're a nonprofit, so monetary donations are always appreciated. So if you can make a monetary donation, that's great. Also, your time, because they're always looking for mentors to come out and help them as well with these kids, because it's a lot of kids, and they need help. So if you got some spare time and you can spare, go on out there and help them out, creating the youth, creating our future. Okay, the Chamber is going to recognize Public Safety Professionals Annual Valor Award Ceremony. That's going to be next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. at the Infinite Energy Forum. They're going to be recognizing our people who take care of us with the Valor Award Ceremony. So make sure you go check that out. You can go to the GwinnettChamber.org.com and find out more information about that, as they pay tribute to Gwinnett's public safety professionals, which includes firefighters, police, emergency personnel. The ceremony is going to honor these guys for doing some hard work and protecting us and keeping us safe and making sure that everything goes smoothly in our community. Ooh, well, we casted our vote yesterday, and the people have spoken. There will be no Marta transportation system in Gwinnett County, not right now at least. So everybody was hyped up about, what are we going to do? Are we going to bring transit to Gwinnett County? Some of us was hoping so. Most of us not so much. The votes were counted, and there will be no transit coming to Gwinnett County right now. It was voted no. So we had there were a lot of people that thought it would go through. I thought it would go through, but it didn't. So the final results were 41,985 voted yes, 49,936 voted no. So right now, we don't know what's going to happen with the transit system. The people that voted no, it wasn't necessarily because I thought most of the people that were voting no was because they thought crime was going to be brought to the community. It was a combination of things. Some people voted because they thought it was going to be more crime coming into the community. Some people voted because they voted no because they didn't want the tax increase, because they felt like it wasn't really serving them at all. And some people said they wanted a county a transit system, but they wanted the system to be run by Gwinnett County and not by Marta. So it was a various reasons why people voted no, but they voted no. So they showed up to the polls and they came out and they said, nope, we don't want it. So listen, that's all I got for the news. Let's jump right in. I got my guests online. Thank you so much, Chris, for waiting patiently. I had to get my news and horoscopes out there. Really about the transit, because that was a big thing here, and people said no, we don't want it. Listen, your vote matters. We got a lot of elections coming down the pike, and just remember, your vote matters. Either way, your vote matters. So that being said, let's jump on over to Chris. We're talking about how to create your financial destiny this morning. Chris has been on for the last 4 weeks with us. This is part 5 of this 12-week series, and he's going to be talking about helping us understand how money works today. Our topic today is how money works. So, Chris, I've been talking a lot, so I'm going to let you jump on in there, and let's kick it off. Let's talk about something. When I learned how money works, I learned about the rule of 72. Let's talk about that and explain to people what that is.
Yeah. The rule of 72 is also called the banker's rule, because ostensibly it was the banks that created it, or the banks that understand how that rule works, albeit when we open up the account, they didn't take the time out to explain it to us. But here's what the rule of 72, or the banker's rule, says. You take the amount of interest that you're receiving on a savings, investment, CD, money markets, et cetera, and so forth, and you divide it into 72, and it tells you approximately how long it's going to take your money to double. So let me give you a couple of situations here, or scenarios, I should say. Let's say you're getting 1% at your bank. Just so people know, most of you that bank at Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, BB&T, et cetera, most of your local or national banks, you're not going to get nowhere close to 1%. You might get 0.5%, but in all likelihood it's going to be less. But for argument's sake and for math, let's say you were getting 1%. You take 1 divided into 72. In this case, that means it's going to take 72 years for your money to double. I don't care what the amount is that you put in. It's going to take 72 years. So if you're getting less than that at your bank, it's going to take twice as long for your money to double, almost 150 years if you're getting 0.5% interest. So the point is, you will not live long enough to see your money double. Bank is a good place to save money, but it's not a good place to grow money. And there's a lot of examples that come out of it, but out of that rule of 72, it helps people understand the power of compound interest.
Wow. So listen, if you got questions for Chris, don't hesitate to call in, because I know some people called in last week, Chris, so we were off the air already. And they was like, I try to call in. So if you got questions for Chris, you can call in 323-642-1096. Again, that number is 323-642-1096. So Chris, people put their money in the bank, and the interest rate that they're getting on their money is pretty much nothing. What can they do to make their money grow faster? I know, because I know most people believe in the bank. I'm going to put my money in the bank, and I'm gonna help my money to grow, and it's growing by like nothing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, one of the things is that's what we've been taught. Save money, and that's not a bad thing in and of itself. But that's not growing money. You're not investing it. You're doing just what it says. You're saving it. It's FDIC insured, so you find some solace in that. But, when we put our money in instruments like a money market account, you're getting, in most cases, 0.10%, which means it's taking 720 years for your money to double. You tie your money up CD, whether it's 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, 36, 5 years, you're tying your money up for extended periods of time, but you're not making any money. So you'd have to ask yourself the question, well, why would people do something like that? Because it's safe. You're not going to lose any money. You're not going to earn any money either. Matter of fact, if you factor in inflation, you're actually losing money over the long run. And so that's why people put their money in banks. We were taught to do that. It's safer, but it doesn't grow money. One thing I would say about having money in the bank, good place to have an emergency account. You have easy access to it, which means it's very liquid. You can get it anytime you want. You don't have to worry about penalties or anything for getting your money out of the bank, albeit it's interesting. People put their money in the bank and they end up losing money on fees, let alone how inflation impacts your money. So I just want to stay there for a minute. You asked the question, well, how do you grow your money? Well, let's go back to the rule of 72. And so how does that grow my money? Well, that's coupled with something called compound interest. The higher the interest, the faster your money doubles. So let me give you a couple of examples that may make sense. Let's say you were saving $50 a month at 9%. 9 goes into 72, probably roughly every 6+ years, to use 9%. Well, once every maybe 11 years. I'm sorry. So it's a lot faster than 72 years. Again, remember, the higher the interest, the faster money doubles. Before somebody asks the question, well, where can I find 9%? I'm going to tell you a little later on in the broadcast. But let's say $50 a month, Audrey, at 9% for 10 years, just $50. You would have you would compound $9,748. Not a lot of money, but you would have only contributed $6,000. That means your money would have grown by $3,748. But what about $50 at 9% for 20 years? Now you have $33,000. You would have contributed $12. $50 a month at 40 years. It gets good now. That's over $235,000. You would have only contributed $24,000. Let's think generationally. And if you was to save $50 a month at 80 years, that would be $8.7 million. Let me repeat that. $50 a month at 9% for 80 years, that's $8,751,000. You would have only contributed about $48,000. But if we really think generationally, and I'll just say this, and my great-grandparents worked 40 years. My grandparents worked 40 years. My parents worked 40 years. That's a total of 120 years. What if somebody had started putting away $50 a month at 9%? Understand, I'm being conservative at 9% for 120 years. You ready for this, Audrey? that family would have saved $316,244,880,000, and they would have only contributed $72,000. That's a good example of how the 72 affects compound interest and how everybody, if not anybody, can grow their money.
Now I know it is so funny. I think I should have had the show longer today, but I have to go out. But I got a caller on, Chris. We're gonna stop right there. We got a caller. We're gonna take the caller question. We're gonna have to pick this up because I know people want to know where can you get that 9%. We're not gonna have time today to get to figure out where to get that from. Chris is gonna have to come back next week. We're gonna pick it up next week right there. But we have a caller right now, so Chris, I know you got a caller. Hold on one second. Good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show. You're on with Chris and Audrey. How can we help you? Hey, good morning. 678. You're on with Gwinnett. Good morning, Gwinnett with Chris and Audrey. How can we help you? All right. I see the number, Chris, but I don't know. I'm not hearing you. So, good morning. How are you?
Hi. Good morning. So I had a question.
Yes.
I am a mom, and I am right now. I'm out on maternity leave, and as far as savings go, they always tell you to save and things like that. So what do you do? Like, what would I do as far as keeping that savings going? And I know you were talking about finding certain platforms that offer a certain percentage to kind of keep the money growing. So I guess my question is, what would be a tip for new moms as far as saving money, being a new parent and things like that?
Sure. Good question. It's interesting to ask that. We have a webinar that we do, and it's entitled New Moms and Money. Whether you're a new mom for the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, you're a new mom. And so it depends. There's no one size fits all. If you're saying, I want to save money, say, while I'm out on maternity leave, and let's say you're still contributing to that, if you want something that's liquid, meaning I need to get my hands on money right away, and don't want to be worried about penalties for taking money from an instrument early, I would simply say, again, I'm moving away from the bank. I think you already know you can put it in the bank, get it anytime you want, just put it in your ATM card and just go to the bank and get it. But I would recommend a mutual fund for several reasons. Number one, it provides you liquidity. In other words, you can get your money when you want it. Pick up the telephone and say, hey, send me a check. You can go online, say I want to sell X amount of shares, so you can get your money somewhere between 2 and 5 days. Number two, there's no penalty to get your money. Number three, having the money in a mutual fund, you have a pool or you have a family of stock. To give you an example, the average mutual fund has an excess of 100 different companies in it. So the likelihood of all 100 companies being down at the same time is slim and none. So you're not invested in just one stock, whereas if the market goes up, there's a correction, it really impacts you. But when you have your money in a fund where there's hundreds of accounts, you probably won't even feel a correction in most cases. So I would recommend a mutual fund. Now, if that's if you have access to money, and I get the impression that's what you want. You want to put it somewhere where it grows, great rate of return, you can get it, no penalty. The only thing you're going to get at the end of the year is a 1099.
Okay.
Does that answer your question for you?
That does answer it.
Okay.
And Chris, for those who are listening who don't know what a 1099 is, can you just briefly tell them what a 1099 is?
Yeah, it's a form that our favorite uncle sends us, the IRS, and they said, you've made some money, we want a share of that. That's a rather whimsical way of putting that. In other words, let's say you put your money in the mutual fund and it's earned $1. You pay taxes on the earnings, not what you contributed, but what you earned on it. You get that at the end of the year. So there's no penalty involved in doing it. One other thing I wanted to say about putting your money in a mutual fund, and again, I mentioned mutual fund because we're talking about putting it somewhere where you get a higher rate of return. Yes, you can just as easily put it in a money market account, but you're getting 0.10%, which means you end up losing money in all cases. One other thing about a mutual fund, you want to find one where you're going to get a rate of return that exceeds inflation as well.
Now, so Chris is a financial advisor, and he's going to be giving us information on how to contact him in about 2 minutes. So if you got more questions, listen, guys, if you got more questions for Chris, he'll be on next week. But if you need to contact him before next Wednesday, he's going to give his contact information in a few seconds. So thank you for calling, and I hope we answered your questions. We'll be on. If you got more questions, be sure to check us out next Wednesday, 9 a.m., and Chris is going to be back. We're going to have a little bit more time next week because right now I have to just run out and I have a doctor's appointment. So Chris, thank you caller for listening, and please share the show with your friends and let them know that every Wednesday for the next, what are we on, week 5? For the next 7 weeks, we're going to be here talking about how to get your money and create your financial destiny. Congratulations on your baby. We wish you well, and hopefully our show is helping you create some financial stability and generational wealth for you and the baby. Okay, Chris, I knew we was going to run out of time this morning. I just didn't know we was going to run out so quickly. You gave some great information. Next week we're gonna keep this going. We're going to talk about where can people find that 9%. Now, you said something interesting a second ago. You said that when you have a mutual fund, you do not get penalized when you take your money out. And someone asked me that question last week, like, where can I put my money when I can get it liquid and not be penalized? And I didn't have an answer for them. So mutual funds, can you talk for like a minute about that? And then I want you to give people the information on how to contact you because we are almost out of time.
Yeah. Mutual fund is just what it says. Money is pooled mutually, managed by professional money managers. So you've got people all over the country, all over the world, pooling money. Your money goes in that same pool. So we've got tens of millions, hundreds of $1 million being invested. You own a portion of that, which means you also own a portion of the hundreds of stocks that are in there as well. Now, again, at the risk of being redundant, there is no penalty for doing that. It's liquid. Yes, it's a greater opportunity to make money, 9% or more in it. Unless you're really conservative, you can find one that's lower, but certainly it's a greater return. And your money's actually growing. You can see it grow from quarter to quarter, whereas anyone that gets a statement from their bank, they look at their statement, they can say without a lot of expertise, my money is not growing. So I encourage everyone, that's one of the 3 accounts, Audrey, and we'll talk more about it next week, that I encourage everybody to have an account. I like to call it a lifestyle account, or have an account where they can access money that's liquid, that is not retirement, that's not an emergency. One other thing I want to say to the caller, she just had a new baby. You're right. Congratulations. But this is the ideal time to start thinking about setting up college savings of 529, where we simply pour everything I just said into a 529. We can get a higher rate of return. Put together a strategy where your child can graduate college and they can graduate debt-free. The best time to do it is to start now. So those who have any questions, please contact me. One of the greatest banes to people not becoming financially independent or creating generational wealth is knowledge. My consultations are free, not just what you hear on the broadcast today, but any questions you have, if you want to sit down and talk, the consultation is free. I can be reached at 404-839-8274. The number again is 404-839-8274. Audrey, I know you're out of time. As always, thank you for the opportunity to share with your listeners this important information.
Thank you. I mean, you're getting good. We are out of time, people. Listen, next Wednesday, part 6. Check us out. We'll be back. Hey, I got to rush this morning, but hey, I got to take care of myself in the long run because I can't do the show if I'm not healthy. Listen, thanks for listening, guys. If you missed any episodes of Good Morning Gwinnett, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com and check out past episodes. And we'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Next week with Chris, God willing. Until next time, make it a great day, everybody.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in daily at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you miss an episode, go to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com to catch up. If you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the show now and share it with your friends.